Quick confessional to begin with. I actually did record this some days ago, or an attempt at this some days ago, but the lighting was just horrible. So, new day, new light, and yeah, give it another whirl. So today I brought out my Terrazzo sweater that I knit last year, I think, or earlier this year. I can't remember. I knit it in a combination of Pickles silk mohair and like a brownie cognac, maybe it was called, and color of PetiteKnit in like a terracotta that was going out of their product line. And I think it might be one of my most worn sweaters, because it's just like, I love a high neck and it's just so cozy and warm, and I really like the end result of the two colors that, even though they weren't the same or similar, gave a nice like semi-marled effect and brought down the pink part of the terracotta and made it more my color. I did test two different silk mohairs. I initially thought I was going to go with a pink, but it just became too pinky, like the hue or whatever. So yeah, all in all, happy with this. So for knitting, I'm surrounded by some project bags, and I figured, you know what, I'll just go through it. And as you may know, if you've watched any of the other episodes I am currently in the process of moving, or in the process of selling this house. So I thought it would be fun to add in some snippets of how I've like styled, if you will, our home for the photos and the staging, with knits and handmade items in some of the rooms. I think especially the kids' rooms, they're super cute. Totally forgot. My name is Johanne. Hello. I live in Norway. And I knit and crochet a little bit and weave a little bit. Yeah. Chat a little bit on the internet. And I have a cold, so I'm a bit croaky. But we'll power through. It should be fine. Okay. Should we start with what I've finished since the last time? It's been a while, and I haven't finished anything. I've been working on a lot of different things, but nothing is done, except for, I'll bring it out and I'll show you, and then you can decide if it's done or not. The project is currently borrowing some space in my bag from Beautiful Sister. Fun fact, the first knitting project bag I ever bought on Etsy, I think, many years ago. So I have a box of shame segment here that where I bring out a bag or box that I have of old, like very old projects, and I make myself promise to the camera and internet to hold myself accountable to like bring out old stuff and finish a frog. And last time I brought out this that I knit half a sock 9 years ago, never finished, but now I finished one sock. And after I knit the heel, I thought this doesn't look like it's gonna fit me. So I tried it on, it didn't fit me. So then I realized this is a good men's sized sock. So then I knit it to a size 44. And then, yeah, we'll just continue. It's going to break the format a little bit, but for today's box of shame, I'm just going to knit the other sock for next time. And one of the reasons that I brought these out, even them being 9 years old, was that Lucy of This Nanny Knits, she's hosting a make-along of stripy things. So then I figured I have to knit something stripy, so these count. And I'm using Du Alpaca Mini Sterk, which is a 40% alpaca, 40% merino wool, and 20% nylon. Really soft, warm socks. I have made quite a few pairs with that yarn. And then Lucy did have, she had a cast-on party for the make-along to like kick things off on Zoo, and I joined for that. And then I wanted to, since it was a cast-on party, I didn't want it to continue my already started socks. So then I cast on a cheeky little something where I went to my yarn stash and I saw, what do I have here that I can make something stripy to get started on this year's Christmas presents that I will try to get done. And I found a bunch of Puno Petite that I bought at the Rauma Garn factory a few summers ago. And it's getting tangled in some stuff. So I found this maroony color and this like lighter chalk-ish, pinkish color. And I'm knitting a sweater for one of my best friend's kids for Christmas. And she has 2 kids, so then I'm thinking of making, well, obviously one with the light with dark stripes, and then for the sibling I want to do dark with light stripes. I think that's going to be super cute for them for Christmas and the winter. It's super soft, quite warm, and yeah, I think they'll like it. And here I am. I just went on my Ravelry and found, I'm sure I have, a pattern that will work for a striped sweater for kids without having to buy a new pattern. And I found an e-booklet called Barnehagenisser from Strikkezilla, where it's a collection of kindergarten age knits, where one of them was just a stripy sweater in the correct needle size. So perfect. So I'm following that. I think it might be called the Glennegenser, but I don't really remember. I'll figure it out. I'll pop it here and maybe even throw in a photo. Ooh. And last time I did chat about hoping to get selected for a test knit for like a fall autumn coat for kids. I didn't get selected for that, but I got selected for another test knit. So yeah, this is a test knit and I received the pattern for free, but I had the yarn for it in stash. So then I went to my stash to see what I was gonna select for colors for this Aster sweater by Nash Knits, and it's in my Marauders map bag that my friend made for me, and unfortunately the zipper broke over the weekend, so now it no longer has a functioning zipper. So I just put the zip thing in the middle of the bag and then it's like a closed. So I don't know if I have to retire the bag or what I'm gonna do. I don't know how to fix zippers. I'm sure it's possible, but I'm not that great at it. Yeah. So for this, I bought a bunch of Arvetta when a yarn shop here was closing down, and I wanted to make, originally I wanted to make some Stella quilt cushions, but then I'm making the Stella quilt blanket, so I don't know if the cushions are going to happen in this yarn, or if I'm just going to use leftovers from the blanket, or if they're just going to be pushed aside for other cushion projects to come, but we'll see. So I had a bunch of this like ballerina shoe pink, I think that's what it's called. It's a color 334, so that's the main color. The skein is falling apart. I'm going to cake it up when I'm done and to put it away. And then for the contrasts, I brought out this, maybe it's called Red Squirrel, I don't remember, it doesn't say on the band, but it's color 352, and then a pink that I have no clue, I can't even guess, 361. And the Aster sweater is a top-down sweater with a collar and like a little close up. It will have a button, and then it has a collar and contrast color on the hem, and then some striped sleeves. So it qualifies for the stripe hype make along as well. All things stripey. So now I'm almost done with the first sleeve. I just need to put on the crickets. I just need to knit the hem of the sleeves, which is called something that I can't remember right now with my fuzzy brain. So yeah, the sleeves are knitting up quite fast, because the thing with stripey stuff is once you start a stripe, you have to finish the stripe to get to the next one, and then just keep chugging along. And it's a size 2 years old, so the circumference isn't that big. Yeah, and so Chai-Gu needles. I'm not very good at saying what needles I use, but more often than not it's the Chai-Gu, like Chai-Gu red lace. I have the interchangeable set, I have some fixed needles, and so today is the second to last day of September, and you guys know I have a like year-long project with the Stella Quilt blanket by Penrose, where I make one star motif a month, and then at the end of the year I'm going to seam them together, make a border, and then have my like year blanket, where each star has like my personal associations with the colors for that month. So September should be further along than it is, and it isn't. So it's the 29th today, which I have to make half a square a day. That should be on number 15, but I am not. It is. So I think I have to make 4 squares today and then 4 squares tomorrow, and then I might be done in time. But as you can see, I brought out the fall ochre yellows. So I'll have this around, and then inside I'll have, like I had this one that was a leftover from another project that I made last year. The yarn is, the base color is Usk in like a heathered light grey, and then the contrast colors, this is the one that I'm using the most of, to see if I have the ball bands. Oh, I put it inside. Okay, this is some Patagonia Merino that I got from my friend Cassidy from This Mama Needs a Minute here on YouTube, and this is the mustard color. And then I haven't entirely decided, I'll figure it out as I get along. Some leftovers of Usk and some Usk that Cassidy gave me, and then some other yarn that Cassidy gave me from Dream. It's lamb and goat. So it'll be a combination of like fall yellow ochres and loveliness. And the bag I made with my help from my mom. We went to Finland, we bought some fabric with little moomins on it, and she sewed me a skirt in this fabric, and then from the leftovers I made this like project bag, and then my mom actually also made me a little notions pouch with some more moomin. Very cute. The light is fading so fast. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe I will have to watch a movie or something tonight to get chugging on that blanket and then actually put my stripes away, because honestly the stripes have been giving me so much joy, and the blanket, not that it's not giving joy, but it's a bit repetitive, you know. It's the 9th motif that I've made this year, but I only have 3 to go plus that one, but so I have to get it done because I really want that end blanket. I'm going to show you guys photos of it when I put it out next time in the daytime, because I usually end up doing it at night and then it's just so dark to take good photos of. And then my last active whip is in my Knitting Unicorns bag with sheep on it. She went out of business, I think. There was some debacle with some collaboration problems, and I think it all ended with Knitting Unicorns no longer making bags for now. And hopefully she'll come back in the future, but we'll see. And in here is another project that has been kind of on the back burner for the last week. It's the porcelain sweater. It has gotten some work. The body is done and just missing some sleeves. And guess what? Lucy said it counts as stripes. I mean, it's stripes of color work, so it's going to be for the stripe hype as well. To keep up my hype with it also. And my friend who I'm gifting this to, her son is the same age as one of my kids, and every year for his birthday I've been giving him a knit sweater, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to make him the porcelain sweater as well, but then invert the colors, so he gets a green sweater with the white, and then the baby sibling maybe something in the same color family, maybe not. So for this I'm using some Snelldon yarn cones from when I went to the Faroe Islands. It's the 2-ply in a white and then the olive green, but that's upstairs. Because honestly, the bag, it doesn't have space for much more than like 1, maybe 2 cones, but then the project is kind of growing, so as it's now semi-active, it's sitting in this. But it has to be finished quickly so it doesn't have to end up in my box of shame. And also I promised, you know, it's a gift, I have to finish the gift. Knitting Mojo is like a bit up and down with all of the like packing and staging of the home and trying to keep everything tidy with 2 toddlers. It's not easy, so I try not to have as many projects as I maybe normally would. What else? Yeah, and also I've been sick, and the kids are sick, so we've been chugging along, trying to get everything done. And yeah, I did, when I originally made this video, that day I'd been on a little excursion to this peninsula called, or maybe it's not, yeah, it's actually an island, isn't it? Called Terrazzo, which has like an old monastery. It's a nice beach, and I did take some footage, so maybe I'll pop in a little bit of like b-roll at the end for some nice nature. And I always enjoy those, that like little breaks at the end of these like knitting vlogs, and then see where people, like what people get up to, where they live. If it's not your style, then that's totally fine. And then I might do a little like voiceover where I share of these like knit items that I've had on display for the photos of the house, because I think that's fun, and I always think it's fun to see knit stuff. I love seeing garments, of course, and I love wearing knit garments, but it's something with like the different things you can do with knitting and crochet that aren't just garments. Like I have downstairs in our TV room, I have a knit rug, carpet, or I don't know, and I have like stuffed animals for the kids in their rooms, and I have like some knit billy goat gruff, is that what they're called in English, and like the troll in the playroom, and yeah, just some things that make it a bit personal without being too much, in my opinion. I mean, in some people's opinion, the whole house is probably a bit too much, but with all of the colors and everything, but I like it. Yeah. So this is where I'll end the chatty part. I'm going to get myself some tea that I forgot to bring down here, so it's probably cold. And I'll chat to you hopefully soon. Okay. Take care. Have a good one. Bye. So, welcome to my kids' playroom with the 3 goats on the climbing arch and the troll underneath the bridge, with everything being made out of, or the troll being made out of scrap yarn, and with some boucle blue hair, and the goats being in a mix of boucle and some wool for the antlers and the hooves. And then here for my youngest's room, he has the most handmade stuff, I think. This is a gorgeous blanket crocheted by my friend. Yeah, it's so cute. And then a little otter crocheted by my sister. And then probably my first big crochet project with this dragon, stripy dragon that I made when I was pregnant. And my oldest, he doesn't have much handmade, or that much handmade stuff, but he has this very lovely blanket that was made by my friend's mom, as well as a little stuffed dragon that my sister made for him when he was a newborn. And next we have my crafting room, where I used to have a desk, but that's no longer there, with a knit blanket, and then my loom, and then some yarn and other yarny stuff that was just left out. This is our basement with my knitted rug or carpet. Very proud of that one. And in our living room we have some sheepskin and handmade, or my grandfather built this rocking car toy when I was young. It was at my grandparents' house, and now it's been passed to my aunts and uncles and my cousins, and now that my kids are of the age to use it, it's at our house. And the kids think it's so much fun to ride in their car. I obviously had to bake some stuff for the house viewing guests, some cinnamon buns, some pistachio buns, and coffee, and some juice.